Well, we'll talk more about it as we get down to the match. The players are ready, so let's head down there and kick off tonight's show.
Will, did you know that I actually played Ocelot and the Guide of Souls and Legacy the other day?
No, how did that go?
I 3-2'd actually, which was honestly surprising.
We'll talk about that in a moment, because I think that actually they might be two of the best one drops in modern, and I'm going to get chat involved in that as well. We were talking about it the other day. Like, what do you think of the top 5 one drops in modern now? Obviously, Ragavan used to be the top of that tree, but it's not anymore. As we kick off this week number 8, match number 1 of MTGO Masters Season 2. Eldrazi, top of your screen. Do make it at the bottom. Opening hands drawn. What are you thinking?
I love this. This hand is very aggressive here for Devin, right? Like, you go turn 1 Cookbook, you could put double Asmo into play on turn 2. Like, that's basically like exactly how you want it to go. Orcish Bowmaster is also a very nice value threat. But the card that I'm most interested in is this Rotten Mouth Viper, and I gotta say I am loving the alternate art on that card as well.
Yeah, it makes our life a lot harder in the booth, having all these different alternate arts. But starting off with arguably one of the best one drops, if not the best one drop in Osseless Pride at the minute. Lines up really well against Ragavan. Really good, you know, just getting on the board, making a board presence early in case we start drawing things like Goblin Bombardment later on. Doesn't line up particularly well to Orcish Bowmaster, which we don't see a lot of in the meta at the minute, purely because Mardu is a thing.
Yeah, that is a great call out here. And on turn 2, I think Ollie's got a lot of decisions to make here. Obviously, we're going to swing in with the Ocelot Pride first here to trigger the lifelink, get the cat token. But I guess the next question is whether we are either supposed to Thoughtseize, or if we're supposed to just spend our mana on the Amp Raptor. And I personally like spending, I guess Arena of Void comes into play tap because there's no mountain in play. You're right. So I guess we are locked into Thoughtseizing here, which is a good thing here for Ollie, right?
We could Pride, right? Pride still triggers. You'll still get 2/1/1 cats at the end of it, but like, the best play here is what we're seeing now. Thoughtseize on the stack. We're able to take that Orcish Bowmaster, which means, one less card that can be ditched for Cookbook into one of these Ocelots, which are probably, let's be honest, we're going to see coming down next turn and generate a bunch of value. But getting that Orcish Bowmaster off the battlefield now means that this cat's going to stick around. This Ant Raptor is going to stick around a little bit later on in the game.
I don't know. I personally feel like if you wait on these Thoughtseizes, you're kind of bottlenecked on mana here, right? Like, if you don't play the Thoughtseize this turn, there's a chance that Doomwake just like empties his hand onto the board, and then that's a draw for sure.
Nice.
And you don't really get to extract value out of your Thoughtseize. So I kind of like playing the Thoughtseize this turn. And Ollie is definitely rewarded because he finds the copy of Orcish Bowmaster to keep the cats around a little bit longer.
So this turn, we're going to start off by using Cookbook. We're going to generate a food token, discard that Asmo. So we can play this one, which obviously is a 0 mana creature, but we can cast it for 1 if we have discarded a card this turn. Got it in the old classic gold bordered art there. Love to see it. Got to also go and search up another Cookbook, add it to our hand. So this is where we're going to start generating the value for this Viper, right? We can keep making lots of small little tiny permanents, lots of them tokens, get this Viper down nice and early. And Ali doesn't really have many great answers to get it off the battlefield. Have a look at the deck list now, what you could draw. It'd have to be a big Galvanic Blast, maybe a Stack Prison. Other than that, there's no other real way to get it off the battlefield.
Yeah. It's and that is one of the reasons why I actually really like the Rotten Mouth Viper just being a 6/6, because that's a lot of stats for a 1 mana card. I mean, you're effectively going to be playing it for 1 mana, right?
Well, we see Doom respects that little 1/1 on the other side. The Osseless Pride gets it off the battlefield instantly, sacrificing 2 food to be able to do that. But the cat deals damage to itself, so that means that it's got lifelink, so gains the 6 life from it. So it's not all doom and gloom there. Now we can kind of double spell this turn. Interested to see how we want to fire off. We're going to start with the Raptor.
I like that. Yeah.
Let's kind of do a little cascade. We'll give it 2 energy, so we get to hit another Raptor into Raptor, but the second one doesn't trigger as in the cascade effect. We just gain ourselves 2 more energy, and instead of Osseless Pride, we're going to fire off this Thoughtseize because we know the hand, we know there's a Viper in there. We don't want that cast anytime soon. So pretty back and forth for the minute, but this 3/3 going to hold its own for a while.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Grist not so great when you can't cast it here. I think the one card, obviously, that like DooMwake would like to see is the Daredevil here. That would really kickstart the deck and sort of just I would even say on this like closed board state where there's not very many resources on either side, like it would just take over right on the spot here. So the question now is, do we discard the grist here or do we keep it? And it looks like DooMwake's valuing the grist as a potential card to sort of gum up the board a little bit and maybe pull ahead or stabilize, whatever it might be here.
So we're going to start off with the Ajani. If Doom wants to get this off the battlefield, it's going to have to sacrifice both these cards in hand and turn them into food tokens. But it's just this is just awkward. Like it's so efficient at what it's doing. This energy deck on the other side, and these cookbooks they're great when you've got Daredevil. When you don't have Daredevil, it is a card for a card. We can't just keep repeating this and generating value. Which, as you mentioned, Daredevil would probably be the best draw at this point. But this 3/3 is good enough to hold everything off. Oh, okay. I like this.
Yeah, this is a pretty free attack, right? If it dies, then you get to flip the Ajani, and the flip side of Ajani, like Devin doesn't actually really have very many resources and cards, so it's not something you'd want to see. Also, surprisingly, Ollie has drawn what like Thoughtseize after Thoughtseize here. This is, now that I think about it, not very good at all here for DooMwake. We really need to find that Daredevil because that's maybe like one of the only ways we can actually get back in to this game.
Forcing the discard from Cookbook here potentially by firing this off. So yeah, we're just gonna discard both here. I kind of like this, and then we can cash them in if we need to get that Ajani off the battlefield while Ali's tapped out. Also need to mention there is an Arena of Glory on the other side, so we know that how powerful that can be later the game goes.
Oh,
and on
nice!
cue, we draw this Daredevil. So talk
Can
me
I get
through
a
what
skill
Daredevil
diff?
does. Talk me through what Daredevil does in the.
Oh, yeah. So this card's pretty cool. I've seen it in Legacy first, but you're going to see here. We're going to discard the Oval Chase Daredevil to the Underworld Cookbook, create a food token. When the food token enters play, Oval Chase's second ability activates, which is when it's in the graveyard. If an artifact comes into play, you can put it back into your hand. And then we discard it to the other cookbook, and that creates another food token, puts the Oval Chase back into our hand. So basically what this means is for every cookbook that we have in play, the Oval Chase allows us to create another food token. That food token combines with the Asmo to clear up the board really well here. And I was going to say it looks like DooMwake had, solid grasp of the game now, but a top deck Galvanic Discharge is going to take care of the Asmodeum Marduk Dice and Oculta card. Dang, I was trying to avoid that for as long as I possibly could. But it's gone, and now the battlefield is open, punching in for 5. It's going to be a little bit of again, tough battle here for Devin.
Yeah, especially as we already got 3 Asmos in the graveyard, and we've got a great top deck right now because we're able to generate so much value with it. Only one of them now left in the deck. It's going to have to be big hits for Doom, and Overgrown Tomb is not it. Isn't going to be dead, but can obviously generate 3 life every single food token plus 2 mana that we use. So we're on a pseudo 15 life at the minute. And we're just going to go out. We're going to get the F6 value here, I think. Going to generate, crack a food, gain the life, play the Overgrown Tomb, F6, and pass, and really hope we don't see something like a Goblin Bombardment on the other side. We don't. Marsh Flats, normally a year ago, pretty rough draw. That's just a land. Now, 2024 with Surveil lands, this basically could be a card in itself.
Yeah. I was going to say if, DooMwake drew a land here, he could maybe use the Oval Chase Daredevil secret ability, which is like you just play it as a 4-mana 4/2. But these Amp Raptors have first strike, so it's not even going to do a good job at blocking, clearing up the board, or anything like that. And like that, maybe I cursed him there. I don't know, but he draws the Verdant Catacomb and now has to make a decision: do I actually cast this 4/2, or do I just try to gain three life this turn?
We can gain 6 every turn now, right?
Oh yeah, actually,
4 mana double Cookbook plus Daredevil. We can gain 6 every turn.
Wait.
Ali on the other side's hitting for 6, and it's going up 1 every turn. It's a lot of life.
Yeah, that's pretty clutch here. Actually, now we sort of stabilized too, right?
Chat also pointing out that you could cash in one of these cookbooks for 4 mana, return something from the graveyard if you want back to a hand. Could be another Asmo if we need to go that route. Could even be the Viper if we really wanted to go across, or even an Orcish Master. We'll see. But we are passing the turn, so it means the Surveil land's going to come in end of step. Have a little look at that top card, decide if we want to draw it or put it into our graveyard. Flays would be huge right now if we could flip that over. But
actually, I'm kind of nervous here, Will, because if you take the chat lethal line here, sack the cookbook for 4 mana, bring back an Asmo to your hand. Oh, that's a little bit scary too. Bowmasters off the top. Oh no, actually, does that work right? You'd have to filter your mana in an awkward way. You get red from the Arena of Glory, but then you use black and you still have haste. And okay, so you can actually still do it, which means Devin not quite dead yet, but almost certainly priced into gaining life here off of these food tokens.
No, this is lethal. Oh, no. Yeah, basically you're hardwired in that you need to gain life off these food tokens now. Because not only is the City Blessings now turned on, so we will generate a second cat token. Because also made this turn was an orc, a mass token. I believe a second one is made, or does that one just get another +1/+1 counter?
It'll just get another counter. Actually, wait. That's a yeah, Judge. Yeah, Judge. Hello.
Like it says, it makes another copy of the token, so it makes a 0/0 apparently. Chat saying.
Okay, 0/0 makes sense because I guess the token itself is a 0/0, and then it gets the counters onto it.
So yeah, so it makes a token, but the token dies instantly. Okay.
Is Rumble good here?
It's not bad. Look at the top 4 cards, but it's not good enough. Eldrazi is going to win this game 1. We're going to sideboards.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I'm talking about here, right? Like, look at this Mardu deck and just how it just went so wide, right? And it feels like every single card that it spent either generated value in some sort of way, whether it's the Amp Raptor or maybe like Orcish Bowmasters, or it was just like a solid 1-for-1 exchange, Thoughtseize and the Galvanic Discharge, right? That Discharge was such a timely top deck. And that's another thing too. The removal in this deck, the interaction in this deck is just like guttingly efficient. Like it's actually disgusting, right? Like I don't know. I personally am terrified of this Mardu energy deck once the bird goes, but looks like a lot of other people think that there is counterplay to it, and who knows, right? Like maybe with extra sideboard slots, you get to sort of have a better plan for this kind of matchup. Like Pyroclasm is something
everyone's no one's speaking about it, but I'll say it out loud. If there's a deck with lots of 1 toughness creatures dominating the format, there is a certain 4 mana 2/4 card that can kill a lot of them and then combo off by itself. Yawgmoth, baby, is coming back. I tell you.
Okay, all right. I like to hear that. Yeah, I know there's a lot of Yawgmoth fans in the chat.
You know what I mean? Young Wolf blocks well. A lot of the stuff in the deck. I get Wall of Roots. I get my Grists. I get my Call to Callings, my Endurances. Goodbye Flages.
Oh, actually, you know what?
It's coming back.
Sold me on this. I think maybe then. So here's my goal for the week, right? Or for this week's show is I want to figure out what the secret tech is for next Saturday's first RCQ without Nadu. And you are really driving a hard argument here for Yawgmoth. I think that's definitely a really good option to bring to the table. Just because you're right. It probably has a ridiculously good energy matchup.
If you think about it, Nadu is basically a more fine-tuned, better carded Yawgmoth deck. It's still a creature combo deck, Call to Callings, Wall of Roots, that sort of thing. It just does it a lot more better and a lot more efficiently and a lot more different angles. Once that's gone, well, let's just go back to Yawgmoth. This little creature deck's doing well. Guess what's really good against these little creature decks? Yawgmoth. At Amsterdam, at Proto Amsterdam in the GP, I played Yawgmoth in that. And I played against these Boros decks all day, and oh my, I was just tearing to pieces. Especially now we've got like the like birthing rituals and all these sort of cards. These are really cool cards that haven't really shined as much. I know there's a few heroes out there on Twitch, a few players that really are still playing Yawgmoth through this meta. It's great to see. Chat's popping up as well. Chat seems to be some Yawgmothers in there. Love to see it. We all stick together. We'll come out.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. Actually, so if you were playing Yawgmoth, would you play Birthing Ritual or would you go back to the Soul Cauldron? Because I've seen a couple builds playing Soul Cauldron in the Malevolent Rumble.
I think in a wider range, the Ritual, like if you expect to go into a big tournament, I think the Ritual version's amazing. If you're expecting a lot of Boros, a lot of Mardu, then you just go to the straight up Cauldron version. Like they play differently. One's really is better against the other. The strict on with Cauldron is just a lot better in the mirror. Like that's actually what I got my loss to in that GP. But it's sick. Players reference. It's gonna be cool. That's my prediction.
I like
Who
how
knows?
the matchup is like Mardu Energy and Golgari Cookbook, and you and I are just like gushing about Yawgmoth here in the upcoming metagame. But hey, that's what we're trying to do today, right? We're trying to solve the puzzle in advance here. We're going to see a couple back and forth land go here. Interesting. Doomwake suspiciously passes with 2 mana open. That can really only mean one of two things, I think. And on the other side, Ollie is probably just looking for that third land drop, and then he's going to be coasting a lot of legendary cats in the hand there for him, though.
So you know, this is my deck. I play a lot of Mardu. I play a lot of Boris. That is my favorite deck currently in modern in the meta. I would be starting kicking this turn off now with Goblin Bombardment. If I play against any sort of deck that's got removal, I'm starting with Goblin Bombardment. And I turn in all their removal spells off. Like if you've got to fire your removal spells off against cards like this, like Ajani. And if you don't, I just can flip it at instant speed, get my Planeswalker, start generating even more value that way. And even with just, I cast my Flage, 3 damage to your face, sacrifice it to a 4th damage. Now my Flage is turned into Boris Charm. I think, depending on what I think I'm playing into, I would start with Goblin Bombardment. Ali decides against it, which, you know, what could they have for 2 mana? You guessed it, MTGO Master. What's that able to kill? This cat token. What do you not want to kill? That cat token. So it just happens to, you know, I think we're going to see it still. Just, I don't think it's going to go to the creature. I think it'll end up going to face.
Okay, here's a tough question right now. In this situation, do you actually go after the 2/1? Doomwake thinks you should, but that flips the Ajani, and I mean, a flip Planeswalker is always going to be very, very powerful. The question is whether it'll survive. We're hedging for a little bit here, I suppose.
Well, if we flip it, it goes to 3 counters, right? And we're currently there's 2 power on the battlefield. If there is another MTGO Master in the hand, it will die. Bad times. But look at our hand. We've got 2 more copies in it. I don't particularly mind flipping it, but then on the other side, it is a 1/2 against 2 1/1s. There's no creatures in the battlefield. It is open deck list. There could be a Soul Cauldron, which we know there is in the hand.
Oh, he chooses not to flip it. Okay.
I like it. I don't hear this because we can flip it next turn, right? We can just play another Ajani, sack one Ajani, which is a cat, and flip it that way.
Interesting. Wait, wow. Okay, I
lines, my friend, lines. Keep your blue cards. Keep your blue cards. I'll keep my aggro cards.
So like, wouldn't it have been worse for Devin if the Ajani had flipped? I feel like it would have.
Well, technically, yeah, we didn't know that we couldn't get off the battlefield. Like the real bad card there would be MTGO Master, which didn't end up having. Plus, it means we can hold up Urza's Saga Mana now. So, you know, we're going to make a construct. We're probably going to make 2 constructs. We're probably going to get one of our many equipments or 1-drop so we can go find. I'm going to have a little look at what they are. Is there a Shadow Spear? That's the main one I'm looking for. There is a Shadow Spear. There's also a Lava Spur Boots, but Shadow Spear gives everything trample. We've already spoke about how this deck is full of 1 toughness creatures. Chump blocking's great for it, but not great when it's equipped with a Shadow Spear because it will give the trample.
Yeah, I also didn't get a chance to see what Doomwake's answer is to the Goblin Bombardment, because that card, if left unchecked, will absolutely tear apart this match.
Haywire Might.
Haywire Might. Okay.
1 Haywire Might in the main, and there's 1 in the board plus a Piffing Needle. So not many ways to answer it once it does resolve, but it looks like we're going to try and go for the flip here. Also, a good thing about Goblin Bombardment when it's on the battlefield is it's the red permanent you need to be able to do the damage of the Ajani.
Yeah. I think that matters a lot too. I was playing with Ajani in the Legacy version, and it was blue-white, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't actually activate this other ability of Ajani. So it actually is like significant. It's nice to have. Just good, whoever designed this deck, good deck building.
Good deck building indeed. Yeah, well, this is open deck list, of course, for all of the 4 of our players battling it out tonight. We'd like to give them that small field to try and metagame against, give them a couple of different decks, keep everyone brewing, keep everyone guessing. More importantly, you get to see some awesome matchups like this one that we're seeing now. Maybe this is going to be the new meta in less than 7 days. We can all maybe hope a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak on anything officially, but like my confidence interval is so high. Like Nadu is just so strong. I mean, I'd be shocked. I'd be so shocked. I'm also kind of I was gonna say I was also kind of stoked about potentially Grief and whether or not that's going to stick around a Legacy. But that's just, I can't not help but talk about my favorite format. You know? Oh wait, Rottenmouth Viper coming into play.
It looks like it is. We've got enough permanents to sack, so we get to sacrifice a couple of our tokens, etc. Play this down. Now, let's see if Jordan can get this one on the screen for everybody at home to have a little look at, because this is a draft bomb is probably a great way to describe it, but it does have a huge line of text on it. So let's see if I can break this down for everybody if watching on the little mobile devices. This is a 6 mana, 5 and 1 black. As an additional cost to this spell, you may sacrifice any number of non-land permanents. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent sacrificed this way. When it enters or attacks, put a blight counter on it. Then for each blight counter on it, each opponent loses 4 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. Now, is there any way for us to flip this, recur this, get this trigger going over and over again? Not entirely sure. Maybe
I don't think there actually is. I think this is just like a fair, honest 1 mana 6/6 beater with a value attached to it, which sounds like incredible. But the crazy part is I think even despite this being online now for DoomWake, Ollie just says, "Here's my white removal spell, Static Prison. Target your snake, and we'll just continue going along, I guess."
Yeah. By the way, Static Prison. Talk about a card that didn't think it was going to see much play. For 1 mana exile something, and because this deck's so quickly, even if it's just I'm just getting rid of it for 2 turns, that's normally enough for me. Like over the course of 2 turns, I'm going to be able to generate more value. By the time that this Static Prison falls off, you're not going to have a board. Ideally, you're not going to be playing any more Magic. I'm just going to have won the game. As we see, a Johnny flipped, damage dealt, get the token off the battlefield. Static Prison, get the snake off the battlefield, pass the turn back. How can we rebuild over on Doomside? And Asmo is a great way to rebuild.
Hey, Will, you got to do it for us. You got to say the name of the card at least once.
Dude, I can't even say my own name.
Okay. It might be. Give it your best shot. I won't laugh. I promise.
Okay. And bear in mind, just so on the record, I am extremely dyslexic. Asmo ran a Madarick.
I love you, bro. I love you.
Hold your car.
You're good. All right. So, anyways, as more to Mardu Destiny Cool, the card going to enter the. I'm going to tell you the secret, by the way. The way I learned it, if you ever go watch the Jimmy Wong video that came out when Asmo first was released in like Modern Masters or Modern Horizons 2. He like said it like 5 different times, like instantly, and I was just like, all right, this is how you learn how to say it. Watch that tweet. It's on his page somewhere in the annals of the internet, but it's in play now, and I gotta say, now I feel really, really, really good about Devin's position.
Do we?
I kind of feel so. Yeah, no.
Well, we just go. So the awkward thing here is the fact there's double food on the battlefield, right? So we can do some sort of crazy shenanigans. So we're going to go Orcish Bowmaster, shoot the Asmo for 1. We then take up the Ajani, make the 4th creature. We kill a creature in response. 3 damage is still dealt to the Asmo. So maybe one of these tokens could have gone face. Actually, this point damage could have gone to the face. Or we're gonna go out. So now we're gonna give Devin the full shot. Like, oh no, actually we do have to do the point damage because there's 2 creatures in the battlefield, in the graveyard, and the cookbook. A Soul Cauldron could put the +1/+1 counter on it. Jesus, so many different little micro decisions happening right now. But at the end of the day, one of these creatures is going to die. Asmo is going to die. There's going to be a huge board state for Ali, and we're back to square one on Doomside. We're going to have to really start using some of our mana to recur some of these threats from the graveyard. We've got the like we had in game 1. We've got the food bit going. We just haven't been able to stick anything on the battlefield because it's going too wide and too much disruptions happening.
Yeah, I think the upside here, part of the reason why I have hope for DoomWake is we have the Agatha Soul Cauldron. So now we just need to literally even like cards like Malevolent Rumble. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? That you could rumble into a Scion and then give the Scion a +1/+1 counter. And there's a Goblin Bombardment in play. Okay, maybe not. Maybe this match is like super over and Mardu Energy is like the most oppressive deck. Nadu's like right hand.
Well, this might just be it. Like if Doom can't do anything, he might just be dead next turn because we can go turn everything sideways, take up a Ajani, do 5 damage, play the other Ajani, flip it into a new Ajani, do 7 damage, then sacrifice our board and do another 7 damage. I think the game might just be over now. I don't think this deck's able to keep up, even by generating all these different food tokens that we are seeing. But Doom's been testing with this, got a lot in the tank of it, a lot of reps of it. Maybe he sees a line getting out from underneath this really hard situation that he's been put in.
Yeah, actually, now that I look at this, wait, this is like heinous. This is not okay.
Well, next turn is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's like 25 damage next turn. Like, I just don't think there's a line here.
This board that Ollie has going on does not, and I say this, does not look like a board that can deal 25 points of damage. How dare? Like, what? You're actually
bombardment, dude. It's great. Like, weirdly, this is what I don't know. I think I was speaking to Dingo about it at some point on his stream, and I was like, they made all these tokens, and I think I saw Spike play in another random deck that day. I was like, whoa, bombardment would be really good in these decks. Like, and I picked one in and went to a big event here in the UK and was able to top 8. And I was like, whoa, I like realistically, that was the MVP of the whole tournament, was this going with bombardment. No one played around it. They thought they were safe on 7 life. I just sacked my board and killed them. I was like, well, I need to go up on this card. And we, now I think like 3 is the stock in some of these lists. It's that good, that powerful. It's gonna be crazy. But why are we sacking our board there? Did we manage to get to? Oh, we played it, tried to give it the Asmo trigger so we could sacrifice everything. Okay, I still don't think this is a problem. I think this is still lethal, but
yeah, this is for blockers, by the way. I don't look as a member of the Church of Blue White. This is not my problem. Okay, I'll let somebody else figure this out. I'll be honest with you.
So we attack for 3.
Yep, 2+1. I'm with you.
That drops to 11. We play MTGO Master, shoot down to 10, get 2 more tokens. We then take up the Ajani. That's 5 more damage to face. That drops us to 5. We play the other Ajani, get the 6th creature. Sacrifice that, flip it, do another 6 damage to it, sack the whole board, do another. Yeah, this game's so over with. It's unreal. This deck is so good at what it does, and having no disruption, no sweepers, no nothing along those lines. Doom just cannot keep up, even by generating all these food tokens, having a snake come down as early as turn number 3. Yeah, it's over.
And by the way, Will, this is what we call a quote unquote fair deck. Yeah. This is some BS, I'll tell you that much. This is crazy.
This deck
actually crazy?
It is crazy, but what is this showing how powerful and oppressive Mardu has been? That this deck, yeah, we know it's good. Yeah, it can hold in that meta, but it's not really had its moment to shine right now. Are we now stepping from a Mardu autumn or summer? Are we going to be stepping into an energy autumn? Is it autumn? Is that I need to go back to school with my seasons and how they go. Whatever the next season is, are we about to step into the energy one? It's going to be interesting to see how that works and how, again, the meta can evolve.
It's season 3. That's what I call it, right? That's
season 3. Let's go.
That's where season 2. No, that's bad. That's a low tier dad joke. I'll keep that one with me. But yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, and Ollie's gonna win the match here. Will, thank you for pointing all of that out, because I had zero clue how all of that worked.